Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us in this space and time. My name is Alvaro Gamboa, your host here at All Growth Podcast. It's an absolute pleasure and honor for you to join us in this space and time. Joining us today is my guest, fellow New York stand-up comedian, all-around hustler and go-getter. Everyone, please say what's up to Evan Combest. What's up, brother?
What's good, bro? Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here, man. Glad you're here. Today's episode topic, we discussing all guidance. We're discussing all guidance in the form of ancestors, elders, griots, mentors, the OGs, the sages, and the shamans. Evan, you ready for a little walk through the garden?
Yeah, man, lead me through it. I'm here for it.
All right. Fantastic. Yo, here at the Growth Garden, I want to give a special shout out to the episode sponsor. Special shout out to The Tiny Cupboard right behind me. If you're into funny, if you like learning about funny, if you like participating in funny, feel free to head on over to thetinycupboard.com and check out all their shows, all their mics. And feel free to follow them on social media at The Tiny Cupboard on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you, Tiny Cupboard, for sponsoring the podcast and the episode. Now let's get to it. Yo, Evan, first and foremost, podcast, we treat it like a garden. The garden is a metaphor for life. And as with every garden, as with every plant, they start off with seeds. So right now we're going to be planting seeds for our guidance. We're going to be introducing guidance. Some things I want to talk about is mentorship of all kinds within the Black community. We're talking about professional mentorships. We're talking about personal mentorships, societal mentorships. In terms of that seed that I want to drop, we need more mentorship in our communities, in our culture, in our people. You agree, or how you feel about mentorship?
Absolutely, especially in the Black community. It's one of the most important things because we've been so disenfranchised within our history. We lack that connection. And sometimes with that sense of community, you need that mentorship to just help not just your generation, but future generations coming after you. So that way you help build a better connection, just a better community.
That's real, man. That's very real. Because we need, in this day and age, we need people that have gone through it to help us get through it. But we don't have that. We got to have people that help you get through what you got to overcome, every obstacle. And it's like something that's really slept on, because in terms of like the college world, the collegiate world, you have like these professional mentors, right? These alumni that come about, but we don't have anything like that in the hood. Like the closest thing that we have would be like an OG in the hood, right? In the on the block, right? And in terms of that mentorship, is it like a fulfilling mentorship? Because like I know the OGs from my block, and it's not that how would I say, it's not as fruitful because of like all the obstacles that we have placed in front of us in order for mentorship to blossom.
Absolutely. It's, like it's very, very scarce per se in the hood because, you only have the resources that's available to you. And, some neighborhoods are just a little bit more than others. So you might have those people who could be there for you and show you, the OGs and stuff like that. But then you may not have people around you because some people might just be incarcerated. So you just have like, you have to deal with the effects of that incarceration. So you have to deal with the family members of the OG. And it's like, somehow, some way it'll get to you, but it's just, you got to find it.
Word, man. Like, how can we go about, this is something that stumps me to this day. Like, how can we go about looking for not just mentorship, but menteeship? You feel me? How can we go about in this day and age being a mentor and then also being mentored? Like, I feel like in terms of ages, there's like no age to be either or, right? To be a mentee, to be a mentor. So how can we go about as a community, as an individual, seeking mentorship? You just gotta like put it out there and like hope manifestation and God got you. Like, but there's also like active steps you have to take, right?
Absolutely. It's very, very, it's really odd nowadays, especially with social media and stuff like that, because people always feel like they're connected. So, there's this sense now with this feeling that you know everything because it's already in the palm of your hand. So you feel like you don't need to go out there and ask somebody for help with this pride and stuff like that. But some of the best life lessons come from real life experiences. You can't get it secondhand from somebody else. From hearsay or what you read. It's like you can get something from that, but it's not going to be as good as that firsthand true experience that you could get from somebody who's lived it and can tell it to you in person.
Word, man. That's I'm so glad you touched on that, because actually it's moving into the second C that I want to drop on us is showing love to the community elders. You got to show love for the elders on the block, whether they be sages, mentors, whether they be OGs, like grandmas, grandpas. You got to show respect for those that came before you. Like, not only that, in the community elders, like they've been around the block for a minute. So if you peep game, they have a support system within that eldership that is like crucial for the community, right? In terms of like having elders in the block, you like nothing, no one can come in and out of the block without like the guardians of the block knowing, right? But not like in terms of what's going on with gentrification, we're taking our elders out of our communities, displacing them, taking them away, incarcerating them, like you say. But that community eldership doesn't get the level of respect it needs, and it doesn't get the level of attention it deserves, because like there are people on your block right now that know way more about everything than you know, and me included in that, right? But like,
absolutely, yes, yes,
bro, but they're like nowhere to be found. Not only that, like they don't have respect that is granted after a while. Like if you're a black or brown person and you're like above like shit, what, 40, 50, 60, if you're an elder statesman, like that alone, the fact that you made it in this country to that age, like deserves the utmost respect, right?
absolutely.
Yeah, man, because it's in terms of like community elders, do you have any community elders in your block that you know of that come to mind?
Oh, absolutely. Everybody, I would definitely want to say maybe 80% of the people who live on my block are people who I grew up with. I've lived in this neighborhood since I was for about maybe 25 plus years now. Going in. So
That's rich, bro. That's rich right there.
yeah, so everybody who I know growing up is still here to this day, or either they're under, their family members. But I know for me growing up in my block, we definitely had a neighborhood watch. We definitely had block parties. So we have that sense of community, and those people still live here. So like they know what's going on in the neighborhood. So like whenever we wanted to do stuff at the park and stuff like that, like we had that sense of community.
Right. And then not only that, but like if you wanted to do if you wanted to go play in the park, or if you wanted to go like say like you're in the lower vibrational states and you're drug dealing, or if you're like just doing bad boy shit, you have like the community elders watching you. They like nothing is gonna pass them, right? They know about everything and anything. So you got to go through people to do stuff. Something that I feel like that we lose in terms of when we lose our elders is we lose that respect, right? There's a lack of respect in terms of like, yo, you can't be having no block party at 11 o'clock at night on a Sunday, bro. Come on, man. Like there are people that do that. And them yuppies are like gentrifying the hood, they're gentrifying the blocks, and it's like free reign. Oh, there's no one here to police us. There's no one here to like let us know, hey, we don't do that around these parts. And so they like wreak havoc on the entire community.
Yeah, and it's no good for anybody, because you get these people who come in, like I just had an issue like that, like with all the snow in New York. Just in a sense, on my block, it's like an unwritten rule of parking. So, but then we have this new house complex that one of my neighbors passed away, and they built this new house complex. So we get these people who move in every maybe 2 years or so, and like they just don't respect the parking like unwritten rules that we've always had. Like if you shovel out a spot in front of your house, it's kind of unwritten rule that is your spot. Like when you leave, like other people who can't park there, they plan on staying there. You could park there if you're gonna be there for maybe 2 hours or so. Like if you plan on going, you just visiting. But like if you're gonna spend the night, you don't just block people's driveways or just park in front of somebody's spot, like, or just hold up.
Disrespect.
Yeah. I had a situation with that. Yeah, it's real.
And it's common sense, bro. Like if you ain't put in the work for that, the spot or whatever else in general, you don't get the reward. Like you can't reap the reward if you ain't put in the work. And like that, like the thing with guidance in this day and age is that with the lack of elders in the community, ain't nobody there to guide you through these unwritten rules. Like there's no, like I'm assuming on your block, there's no like scripture on the wall that's like, these are the commandments.
Yeah,
Yo,
exactly.
don't park in my fucking spot. That's fuck shit.
Like, don't block my driveway. Don't sell on this corner. Sell on that one. Just
love your neighbors, but not me. There's no one telling you that. Like, and it's lost. It's lost in translation. And that's something that I feel like I'm really in tune with and aligned with. Like on the elders on my block, I give respect to them. But the thing is, like on where I'm living at right now, the building itself is full of gentrifiers, me included. And so like everyone's just like off doing what they want to do. It's like the Wild Wild West, bro. Whenever there's gentrifiers around, they're like
everybody running wild, do whatever they want to do.
Everybody everywhere, man. There's like no set code of conduct. And that's the thing, bro. Elders like help you out and say, hey, there's a code of conduct here. You know that, right? You can't be out here doing no fuck shit. Like let's watch how we move.
And exactly. There's a way of doing things around here. And if you want to get it done, it's a lot easier if you connect with the people who have been there before. because they can show
So
you
much easier.
how to get what you want without you trying to be, oh, I'm by myself, I can figure it out, I can do whatever it is. Like that, like how you said, it's very disrespectful to the people who have been there before you.
A, like you mentioned, they can show you how to do it, and B, they can show you how to do it with less work, bro. Like they've already done that work already. That's the disrespect that's happening. Is like you're discrediting well the work that's gone about before you were even born, before you even like came into this earth or came onto this land. However you want to look at it, there's stuff that was done way before your time that's set in stone, not in stone per se, but like there's conduct, there's a code of conduct in place. And the people just like, oh fuck that, I just wipe my ass with that shit. I don't care. Like as soon as a Whole Foods lands in the block is gone.
Exactly. Like it kind of eradicates the culture that's been set there for generations. It took all this time to build this culture, and then just the commercialization of it, the gentrification of it. People come in, they pay no honor to that.
Yeah, man. At some point or another, like we have to start looking into our communities, because our elders have like there's a real big how would I say, like issue going about with our elders not feeling like they belong, right? And in terms of having respect for our community elders, just saying what's up, Miss whoever, Mr. whoever of the block, just that simple acknowledgement of respect, bro. Like I have that within me. And when I don't see with people, I'm like, oh, he a funny motherfucker. Like, that's okay. All right, you moving real weird around these parts, bro. But okay, do you. I know
Exactly.
that because like I pay respects to the elders, the OGs of the block, of the people that came in before me. I'm good on every block. And that's not that's not ego, that's just pure soul, because you have to give respect to the people that were there before you. And the thing about mentorship, the thing about guidance in this day and age is that it's not being actively sought after. And now is when I like to transition into our water and light. We're gonna be talking about the main points. And something that came up, that I came across that I kind of wanted to toss your way is this concept between an active mentor and a passive mentor. You ever heard about that?
I feel like I know the active mentor, but I would need a little bit more explanation on the passive one. Because I think I know, but let me hear you say it.
So like for me, an active mentor is someone that's like active in the mentorship, in the actual like education, in the passing down of wisdom, of that code of conduct, and that they're active instruments in that change, in that passing of the guard, right? And saying like, yo, young blood, like these are things that we doing out here. These are the things that we're not doing out here for XYZ reasons. 1, 2, 3. Don't do this, don't do that. Like though that's an active mentor. Active mentor 2 is as active in their role, and is also the mentee is active in their menteeship, in their appreciation of their mentor, right? So what a passive mentor is the exact opposite, where the people, the young bloods underneath them, the people that are seeking mentorship, the mentees, they don't have anyone around, but they look up to a certain someone, whether that be like an OG or a grandparent or something like that. But the mentor themselves, whatever that OG is not like fully accepting of that mentorship role. So like an active mentor would like actively tell you, hey, do this, do that, do that, do that. And then like in mentorship programs, the mentor drops some wisdom on you. He's like, yo, do this, do that, do that, do that. You walk away, do your own homework, do what you got to do. And you come back, report to them and be like, this is what I did that worked, that didn't work. And then you have like a review process. You have someone you can like bounce ideas off of. Now, the passive mentor, the thing with the menteeship, if you have like someone that's young, that has like a passive mentorship with like an OG on the block, or like say like a father figure or a mother figure, someone that's just around that has that passive mentorship that isn't really assuming that role model status, they're going to be watching what you do, because you're not going to be telling them much. So they're watching what you do, and they're like going through, okay, he did that, I can't really be doing that. That's not for me. He did that. That's a smart thing to do. The passive mentor is not really accepting of the fact that like, yo, I'm not a role model. Like I don't look up to me, whatever that may be. I found both an active and a passive mentor in my life. I have like people that look up to me. I look up to others. And then it's in both phases of like active and passive, where in terms of like active mentorship, I have a mentor, like we got each other, like bounce ideas off of, 1 and 2. Like have that mastermind of people. In terms of passive mentorship, these are like people that have assumed me to be like an inspirational figure in their life, like people that assume you, Evan, to be an inspirational figure in their life. However, like for me personally, in terms of that passive mentorship role, I don't feel like, yo, I ain't shit. Like, why are you looking up to me? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm only in my 20s. We just getting shit started. I ain't even, so that's where the passive mentorship comes. And that's like a part of that too. Say you have an OG on the block, the last OG, right? The last of the old school era. And there's like a bunch of new bloods on the block. There's a bunch of people out here that are new to the block, gentrifiers, appropriators, colonizers, whatever you want to look at them as. And they have this guy here that they can learn a lot from, and they choose to learn a lot from. However, they're not, the mentor is not accepting like, yo, I ain't teaching you shit. I ain't shit. And, I ain't make it or whatever. Or like, I'm still trying to prove to myself, whatever the fuck. Like, I like, they're hesitant to be bestowed the label of a role model, essentially.
Mm-hmm. They run away from the responsibility.
Right. You feel like you have active or passive mentorships, or you're an active or passive mentor in your life?
On some level, definitely, because I work in the education system. So I do work with a lot of kids. I've been doing that for like, I want to say the past 7 years or so.
Congrats.
Thank you. And even within that, some of the best bonds that I've created were kids I've worked directly with. It's like sometimes you work directly with one kid and other kids see it and then they want to, they kind of flock towards it and they want that type of guidance in a sense. And I'm always willing to give it whenever somebody's trying to receive it. And I know for me personally, when it comes to idols and stuff like that, like I know I had my older brother when he was around before he moved, and I guess outside of that, I was having an interesting conversation with one of my friends, something similar to this, where it was like, you can learn from other people indirectly because there's lessons to be learned everywhere.
Everywhere, yep.
Exactly. So, we were like debating the whole fact of like learning from the mistakes of others and what you eat don't make me shit. And like, is it really your lesson to learn if it was their mistake? So we were going back and forth on that. But I'm way more on the side of like, you can learn from other people's mistakes if you just keep your eyes open.
That's real. That's very real, bro. Because the fact of the matter is, in terms of like mentorship in general, like I feel like, I'll say this later on too, everyone and everything is a lesson and a blessing, right? So if you learn that, if you walk through life with that, it makes life a lot more easier, bro. Because like then at that point it becomes do as I, if you don't have that, it becomes do as I say, not as I do. But with a good role model, it's do as I do and watch what I say, take it with a grain of salt. So in terms of like, in terms of some more water and light that we could be putting on is that our elders, our sages, they contain lifetimes worth of information, not just their lifetime, but their ancestors' lifetimes. And it's in the DNA, it's in the genes. And the fact is that it's an untapped resource, bro. Like our elders, the people that have been around long enough to guide us through things, they have such a wealth of knowledge that is untapped, bro. It's an untapped resource.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. I spend a lot of time with my grandparents because of this whole pandemic that we're going through. So I spend a lot of time just talking and just bouncing ideas back and forth and just listening and taking in from life experiences and stuff like that. Especially as I age, I want to learn, like, kind of get that, like I said before, that firsthand experience of like what happened, what were the things you ran into when you started approaching these ages, and like what are the stages in life that you weren't prepared for, because maybe I can prepare for it. And what did you learn when you finally had to prepare for that? So that way, when I step into that, I'm a little bit more aware of what's going to be happening.
Yeah, man. There's this term that Dave Chappelle put me on to called griots. And griots are just elders trusted with the cultural information, the story of the culture. So like he was saying in this clip that griots, whenever a griot dies, it's like a library is shut down. That's real. Yeah. That's very fucking real, bro. They are the historians of the culture. Like our elders are the leaders in their positions due to their advisory roles of the block, right? So griots, they would help out kings and queens. That would be the council to kings and queens. And we don't understand that in having that passing of the torch, our elders were once those kings and queens. They know a bunch more shit than we can ever fathom. And it's something that it's something that's untapped as well as like unfulfilled, because why keep making mistakes? Why continue to make mistakes when those mistakes already been made? The thing is, you gotta tap into that error and be like, okay, that's what they made. I got to learn from other people's mistakes. And that's the thing. You got a lot of stupid people making stupid choices, stupid mistakes that have already been made. So they're making like stupid mistakes all over again. I'm at fault for that too. The thing with that is like the more you tap into mentorship, the more you tap into like tapping into your elders, tapping into your grandparents, your folks like that. Isn't it like fulfilling to your soul?
Absolutely, because like I said, it's like it gives you a sense of relief when somebody actually comforts you with that information that you're seeking out, per se. Because it's a lot better when you can be humble enough to understand when you don't know something, so that way you seek it out, and then when somebody's there is receptive to it to give it to you, it's just way more comforting. It leaves you with a level of confidence moving forward, because you're not moving in unwatered territory, like this uncharted territory.
That's
Because
exactly
getting the information.
That's exactly where I'm going to, bro. That's the last water and light for us here is that like our elders not only provide guidance intellectually, like in terms of knowledge and information, but they provide way much more culturally. Like if you're like, I don't know, man, for me, like whenever an older woman tells me I'm looking cute or looking handsome, like if I get a compliment from an older black woman, dog, like that makes my day. I know I'm out here killing the game, bro. Like if I'm a little, okay, handsome. All right. Okay.
It's genuine.
It's genuine. It gives you a pep in your step. Like if you have someone being like, oh, okay, you're looking fancy today. You put on your Sunday best. Like it gives you a oomph in your step. It gives you an extra little kick behind how you move and how you walk. And like, we don't get that too often nowadays. Like we're on our own. Everyone's lone wolfing it. And the thing with our ancestors is that they understood community. They understood what it is to have a community of people. So our community of elders, they have their own community. If you peep, they'll be gardening, they'll be playing dominoes, they'll be doing old people shit. And we're young, so we don't be doing old people shit. We're doing young people shit, like disrespecting our elders, disrespecting the people that are trying to guide us.
Yeah, thinking we know everything.
Thinking we know everything, man. That's a lot. That's a big old problem. So I think now it's a good time to transition into our next segment, our penultimate segment. Like I mentioned, in every journey, there are obstacles that come across. In every garden, there are these fuck shits that come about. It's time to pluck out the weeds. This is the negatives, the cons, and the problems that are affecting the guidance in the community, guidance in our society in general. And the first weed that we got to pluck out is there is a lack of guidance, my man. There is a lack of guidance. There are no active role models in the community. Is that like, I feel like that might be a little bit of a hyperbole and shit, but I feel like it's righteous. There are no active like role models in the communities when you're looking, like people that are on the block that are like on the block.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you that, it's not just the fact that we don't have any. If you do have some in your neighborhood, that is waning off as time goes on. Like culturally, we're shifting away from having elders and just that role models and stuff like that, and people who will reach back and give advice and guidance to the younger people, because sometimes kids may not ask for help, but all their actions are screaming that they need help and guidance, even though they may not be verbally saying that, hey, can you help me?
And there's so much the weed really, I feel like, is pride, in the sense of like the younger generation feeling prideful that they don't know something because we out here thinking we know everything. So there is that disconnect of like, I need help. Let me seek out help. Let me ask for help. Nah, fuck now. I'm not asking for help. I'm a gangster. I'm a fucking G. I do this shit. I run this shit. I got this. I got it all figured out. And our elders are looking off at us like, look at this dumb motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You think watch, he about to, and then he do it.
I told you, it's like they're just there, like watching us having a blast. Because they know from a sense of pride that we're gonna be like, no, I'm good, we good. And then there's also pride on their part from being told no all the damn time. They realize, you know what, you got it, bro. You got it, young blood. That's all you. You got it. I'm gonna let you do you. You better than me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go mind my business. That's all it takes.
Meanwhile, you acting a damn fool. There's that weed of the rejection of elderly guidance. Like there's that modern day disconnect between the ages, and I, for the life of me, can't figure out how to reconnect to the ages.
That's very interesting.
Because like you look at boomers and you look at zoomers, you even look at the millennials and the boomers. There is like hatred, like actual hatred between the ages. Hell yeah, like Generation Z, the people that are younger than us and shit that graduate, that were born after like 2000 and shit. they hate everyone that was born before 2000s, bro.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
everybody could get it.
Yeah, they it's really hard for them to fathom what life was like before the internet and stuff like that.
Yeah, bro. They're like, yo, y'all burn the earth down and think it's gonna be okay that we like y'all. We fucking hate y'all.
Yeah, and they don't understand that we wouldn't have the technology of today if we didn't do all the mistakes in the past. Like,
Yeah,
it's a story that's all connected. Like, you don't have to keep fighting. It's all connected.
It's all connected, bro. And that like disconnect between the ages. Like, let's look at boomers and millennials. Like, boomers fucked America, fuck the country, fuck the world. Like, that should be very upfront, right? They trashed all the oceans, all the land, and they hoarded all the wealth for themselves. So millennials now, like, millennials are literally like 25 and up, right? The millennials are adults, full-on adults, but they're still like this kiddie terminology or this kiddie vibe that we prescribe to millennials as like, oh, these avocado toast eating motherfuckers. Okay, they don't know what they're doing. But hold on, we're full-grown adults trying to overcome several crises at the same time, at the same damn time that y'all created.
That y'all created.
And it's like, yo, like, hold on. Not only did you shit on the country, the society, you're shitting on the people after you. Nah, fuck out of here. Get out of my face. Get that shit out of here.
It was like a complete selfish way of living that they just only, like, they thought they were going to be like the only people left. Like, they did so much pillaging from the planet and just to society.
Pillaging, bro.
No, for real. Like, when we got to and it is our job to fix it. And when we call them out on it, they look at us like we're just complaining to complain.
Shut that shit up and eat your avocado toast, bro. Get the fuck out of here. You better ride your little Tesla. I'm over that shit.
Exactly. Like, oh, you got your electric car, you got your this, you got your that. What are you complaining about? Like, fam, we're gonna run out of clean water.
We're gonna run out of water before we can pay off our student loans.
Exactly. Like, come on. And y'all set up this whole thing. Y'all hoarded all the wealth, and now we trying to ask for a living decent wage because y'all got all the money. Like, it's weird. It's wild.
It's very wild, bro. So that is a part of the rejection. However, do you ever feel like some boomers or some older folk are like, damn, I feel bad that maybe not themselves they were responsible for some of it, but they overall as like a part of the generation being like, damn, we really fucked up.
Yeah, definitely. There's always.
I don't feel that way. I don't see it. Like, it's not expressed.
It's not highlighted enough. It's definitely not highlighted enough. But I think it does exist. You do have some people who care about the future and where we're going per se. Like, I guess just a hyperbole example would be somebody like Elon Musk. I think he's thinking way too far in the future, but he's somebody who seems to be caring about where we're going as a society and a culture and kind of wants to give back a bit. I'm not fully on the Elon Musk train, but
you had to come in with that bit because my face said it all, bro. I'm not on the train at all. I'm trying to shut that train down.
I'm super suspicious of him. There's certain things I don't like about him, but I'm just gonna go with the whole, like, all right, electric cars is a good thing in general. So I'm gonna stick it right there. You got electric cars. You got spaceships that you want to launch and be able to land, so that way we don't got to toss them in the ocean. That's good.
Bro, can I tell you what it is? I know exactly what it is about Elon Musk that has you feeling like something's off, something's sus here. Like, wait a minute now.
Go ahead, because I'll be arguing about Elon Musk a lot.
Bro, Elon Musk is from South Africa. His parents are South African. They left South Africa when apartheid ended, right? And then not only that, so Elon Musk grew up in that racist culture, in that apartheid culture, right? So that informs a lot of his thinking to this day. A lot of people don't they don't understand it, they don't get it. I get it because we think like, oh, this is just abstract thinking. Oh, Alvaro is being a little racist. Elon Musk from South Africa, so he loves black people. Nah, bro, you look at everyone that's involved in Tesla, bro, it looks like a pack of marshmallows.
Thank you. I'm just saying, like, it's not so hard to see what's going on here.
Ain't no, like, there is no black or brown person trying to go to Mars anytime soon.
I'm like, yo, I've been saying this for the past 2 weeks. I'm like, what y'all think we're gonna be doing on Mars? Except pick red cotton. Like, you don't have niggas up there picking red cotton so fucking fast. Like, get out of here.
Wait a minute. How you know about that red cotton? You been up there?
See? I got a blue sweater on.
Oh shit, bro. Like, the thing with Mars, bro, is that like I can go on about Elon Musk, but in terms of like his mentorship and his guidance, like he is a mentor, if you really want to be real with the future generation, right? He is being a mentor with the future generation. And the thing with that guidance is it's ill. Like there's some sickness to it. There's some sus to it, right? There's something that's off about it. And not everyone is like trusting of their intuition and their gut. But if they just do a little due diligence and research, they'll find their idols should actually be their fucking rivals.
It's right there. It's right there in front of you.
Really
you don't gotta look that far.
And like the thing with the weeds that we face in our society, like a con that I would say about mentorship, guidance, is like this idea of anti-guidance. I have this idea of an anti-role model, right? Where like anti-mentorship, wherein as opposed to like having a good role model, like a good pillar of the community in your life, right? Or someone that you can like actually learn from by studying them and watching them. You have an anti-role model, an anti-guidance in the sense of like you're watching them, you're studying them, you're to study their fuck ups, to study where they went wrong, because they are making mistakes, yeah, but they're anti-role model. So it's like I'm doing everything you taught me not to do, right?
Yeah.
And like the idea being that like say in your street you only have drug dealers and shit. Those will be anti-role models because they're making money, they're hustling, but that's of no betterment for the community, right? And same goes with like in terms of like say you have like a bad male role model in your life, right? Someone that doesn't teach you the good values of what it is to be a great man. You're learning how to be a great man by not doing everything they're doing, right? So let's say like for example, let's say you have a father, right, or a mother in your life, and like they're beating each other up, whatever, like they're fighting. Automatically, that's informing your love life. That's informing your relationship life. That's it. They are already becoming anti-role models and being like, whatever they got, I don't want nothing to do with that shit.
Yeah, don't look happy. Exactly.
So like in terms of like anti-role models and that belief of like I'm not doing everything they're doing, or I'm you know what I'm saying, that in that aspect. Do you have anyone in that position, in that mindset? Have you ever been in that position yourself?
Oh, absolutely. One just short example would be like me and my older brother like really far apart in age, and he got a girl pregnant when he was young. And I saw the effects. And granted, it's a blessing. I love my nephew, but seeing what that pregnancy, how that changed his whole life when he was 17, getting a girl pregnant, and how that changed his whole future per se. It just made me say, oh, well, there's certain things that he went through that I don't want to go through.
Amen to that. That's exactly the point.
So I don't think I'm going to try to get a girl pregnant by 17. It was the greatest condom ad I've ever seen in real life.
Real life, 4D and shit, right?
Yeah. So wrap it up.
You had to start taking care of the baby. That became a 5D commercial and shit.
Exactly. Plan B. Man. Shout out Plan B.
Shout out Plan B. Shout out contraceptives.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. Like in terms, like with role models, man, I want more role models. And the thing is that there is that anti-role model, that passive mentor. There are people that actively do not want to be role models, right? Like, fuck the kids, right? Like the complete opposite of the Wu-Tang, right? Like the Wu-Tang's for the kids. So much so that the entire clan, the original clan, they all had kids, and their kids became the new wave of the clan. Now that's guidance in every way, right? That's mentorship in every way, because not only were their kids, their sons, watching them go through life as rappers, as black men, as people, as entrepreneurs, as in the industry, but they're actually involved in their parents' lives, and their parents are involved in their lives in that active mentorship, in that active guidance. It could have gone entirely wrong because meth, for whatever reason, could have been like, yo, fuck my son. Like a perfect example of anti-role model. I'm gonna switch gears from the Wu-Tang comparison and go to another New York rapper, a Queens rapper. 50 Cent is the worst father known to man, bro. 50 Cent is the anti-role model. And I love 50 because we're birthday twins. Shout out 50, super cancer vibes. But god damn, him and his son do not fuck with each other.
His oldest son, yeah. It's really It's such a sticky situation.
It's so sticky, bro. It's so mixy and messy. It's sad to see, sad to hear.
Ultimately, it's really sad.
And I'm like, I wasn't even surprised a bit by Tariq killing Ghost because, oh, spoiler, I don't know. Like, I was like, yo, this motherfucker see it, bro.
It sounds like a show written by 50.
50 put it out there, bro. Like,
and that was a show he would write, yeah.
Not only that, but having in terms of like having all the resources that 50 Cent has, having all that wealth, all that intelligence, all that the good people surrounding him, you're still 50. You're like about to be 50 and you're petty, bro. Like,
yeah,
how you petty, bro? Like you can't be an older person. You can't be an elder and be petty, bro. That automatically, that's a weed right there. Automatically, that negates your eldership status. If you have like any animosity, any bad vibes, any low vibrational vibes, like that your eldership status should be vetoed, right? I feel like the elders amongst them, like say there's a disconnect within the elders. They themselves decide like, yo, he can't be an elder. She can't be an elder. They don't know what they're doing. Or like they're leading the younger folk down the wrong path.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Like there's not much to learn there. If you try to follow that person's path, there's nothing to really grow from. I get what you mean.
There is stuff to grow from in terms of like having that anti-role model. Like, okay, I'm not gonna do what you just did. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna love my son.
yeah. Go the other way.
I'm not gonna make a show where my quote unquote my quote unquote pseudo son or my show son kills me, the show father. Like.
Yeah. You got to be like 50 with his second son.
Oh my God. And it sucks because like even his interactions with his second son, those are like, I feel like they're faked a lot. They're just like, he's making up for it, faking it till you make it. Like, I feel like the vibe his second son gives is like, yo, how you gonna do my older brother grimy and treat me like
it's polar opposites.
Exactly. How you gonna negate my older brother, my blood and my skin? And say like, oh, I'm the apple of your eye, and like, oh, like I'm the heir of the throne and shit. Like, how kind of like that automatically drops a lot of bad blood in the community, within the family, within the lineage, and just everyone directly and indirectly around you. If you have that as a bad mentor, as like an anti-role model, you're gonna fuck up everything. You're gonna like
just seeing that alone could be very, very controversial. Seeing like, wait a minute, you have this relationship with one son, but like a completely other, like, yeah, I can see how that could be very, very.
Yeah, because mentors, our elders, they show us, they model how we're supposed to like behave in a society. They model the code of conduct. They model every, at least they should, every proper way to conduct yourself in an ecosystem, in a community, in a society. When you start taking them out of the community, when you start taking them, putting them in jail, putting them in caskets, taking them away from their homes and doing everything you can to keep them oppressed, you're going to have what we have right now, which is really the lack of role models, a lack of guidance in the community, which is why this episode is so important for me.
Absolutely. No, definitely. You're spot on with it. Like with a lot of the effects of racism and just the system, the way how it goes, and you've been taking out some of these men from these homes, these communities, these families, the everlasting effects of that continues to perpetuate a cycle.
Yeah, bro. Cycle repeats.
And there's no room for growth if you just keep cycling.
Yeah, and the thing with that is it's fucked up, but like it compounds over time. Like the compound interest of all that negativity, it builds up over time, and it's gonna take God, Lord knows what to fix all of that. I know I'm only one person. You're only one person. We're only two people here on the podcast, but I feel like the more awareness we bring to it, someone gonna find a solution out there. Damn it.
No, absolutely. Like it's like what Tupac said. I may not be the one that caused the great change, but hopefully I can inspire the mind.
Exactly. The last weed I want to touch on for today is a negative that hopefully could turn into a positive. Is with all of our elders locked up behind bars for stupid petty shit like a gram of weed or not respecting the white man and the policeman for whatever reason that they're locked up. If we can get those people out of jail and with what they've learned, with what they've experienced, and hopefully with recuperation and a lot of healing and a lot of therapy, that they can come back into society, into the community, and bless the younger folk, the younger generation, with that wisdom that they carry, with that experience that they carry with them of like, you don't want to go to jail. Not just that you don't want to go to jail, but like this block has like changed And then the mentor becomes a mentee, almost sort of like a readjusting to society and being like, okay, this is how y'all moving. Okay, that's a little funny and shit. This is how I move in the pen and shit like that. In terms of like releasing everyone that's locked up right now, I really hope that happens sometime soon, because the streets need, the community needs their elders, they need their role models, and they're just literally wallowing away, rotting in their boxes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I know I have a brother who was incarcerated for over 10 plus years. And when he got out, it was like you had to readjust to life. Like you said, there's so much that he was able to teach us about, like what he learned in there and what got him in there and the life that got him in there. And then and vice versa, with just like him readjusting to how things are now. Like he went in, like that was before Obama, that was before like so many things. And it's like, when you look at the time that passes when somebody is incarcerated, think about how the world changes every 5 years. Mm-hmm. Like, and when you think about just 5 years, if somebody's serving a long sentence, like a 10 or 15 bid, like when they come out, the world is so different.
So different. Flying cars and shit.
Exactly. Uber, like what? I can go like that's wild to people sometimes. Like that is a crazy concept. And now you trying to tell me we going to Mars? No, we're not doing it. It's a lot.
Wait, hold up. First of all, y'all getting into strangers' cars. Now y'all getting into strangers' rocket ships. I'm out.
Exactly,
I can't do it.
Exactly. To pick what? Red cotton? Boy, no.
Fuck is red cotton? What's wrong with white cotton?
Exactly. You gonna expect a blood to pick red cotton, man.
That feels like a great part to end off where we're at with the weeds. Now, before you go, I like making sure you leave better than how you came. So it's time for our harvest. Like I mentioned before, this is the wrap up. We'll be having final thoughts with a lightning round. So in our harvest, I like asking, what have we learned? In essence, I like thinking that everything and everyone is a blessing and a lesson. If you choose to, that's the growth mindset that we adopt here at All Growth. So in essence, what have I learned? I've learned that you an OG on your block. You've been there for 25 years already, right? So you an OG already. Adopt that. I'm feeling that.
So I never thought about that when she put it like that, but yeah, I guess I learned that.
Yeah, that's what you learned. What have you learned?
No, definitely like that. I would be considered an OG on my block. And, when I think about some of the young people in my neighborhood and how they view me from just me being here so long, and also my relationship with my older brother and his relationships with everybody, just that lineage, yeah, that's actually, I didn't even think about that. The power of influence that I have outside of my job of working with kids, like just in my own, yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, bro. And you're not the only one in that position. I was in that position myself, that there's so many people that are in that position that don't understand that, oh shit, like I matter to a bunch of other people. What the fuck? Oh, okay. I got to change up how I move, how I operate. All right. And that's another question I want to touch on. What have we taken with us? I'm taking with me after this episode, the idea of being more an active mentor in people's lives, and then also being humble enough to say, I need mentors in my life as well. I need to be mentored in like business. I need to be mentored in comedy, of course, in my own personal life, like just wanting to be a greater man. Obviously, you're going to want to seek out other great men and learn from them. So for me, I'm taking with me the openness to call out forth into the universe, like my mentors and my mentees as well, because I feel like in terms of me as a person, as an individual, as a man, I can't leave this earth until I've inspired who I've needed to inspire,
Yeah, definitely.
And what have you taken with you?
When we were speaking earlier about the elders, like I know even with the pandemic, I've been spending a lot of time with my grandparents. So just everything that we were speaking on, just more paying attention to them and learning as much as I can from them. So that way I can pass that down. Because, there's a lot of, like you said, that's a human library worth of information. And, that's something I definitely want to just take with me as I continue to move forward.
Hell yeah. The penultimate question, what have we gained? I've gained a deeper appreciation from my grandfolk. My grandmother on my mother's side is still alive, turned 70. My grandfather on my father's side is still alive, turned 68. I'm in communication with them. When 2020 happened, I spent time with them. Way more time than I wanted to because they got on my damn nerves, but I was grateful for and appreciative of that because I gained a lot of knowledge about their lives, right? Like my grandfather came into this country in 1977. My grandmother came into this country in 1985. One of them came legally, the other came illegally. I won't mention who, but like the fact of the matter is that they have those different and same experiences. Like the thing I gained is a deeper appreciation because a lot of shit had to happen for my ancestors to live their lives the right way, so my grandparents could live their life the right way, for me and you to be here so that we can at least try to live our lives in the right way.
Absolutely.
That's and what you gained, Evan?
You had a really good one with the grandparents.
You had your grandparents too. Hold up.
No, I just came from seeing my grandmother.
Nice.
Yeah, I make sure I do a lot for her nowadays. I'm gonna take away, stay away from Elon Musk.
That's a W in my book, bro.
Yeah. I'm just gonna stay away from that red cotton, my man.
I don't fuck with that red cotton. What you smoking on? That's that red cotton. Yeah, shit. That boy got that
red sweat. I'm gonna be like, you sus.
Last question. How have we grown? In all honesty, I've grown to recognize you in all your power and all your glory, of being an OG, and also in understanding where my strengths and my weaknesses are, and my mentorship and my menteeship. I'm able to, like, before researching, understand that, okay, I do have to switch some things up in order for me to grow into my role as a great man, as a mentor. I got to be able to say, like, okay, I am a role model in other people's lives, not because I say so, but because they say so. And that's going to make me act right. Definitely. And how have you grown?
It's definitely what you mentioned before of like how I didn't realize how I could be viewed as an OG, and like my power of influence that I might be able to have. I was unconscious to it. So that's definitely something I want to be a little bit more, thoughtful and purposeful when I do things.
Intention.
Yeah. Moving more with intention of like knowing with each step that I make, the ripple effects of it.
Now you talking like an awakened God right now, man. That's some king shit right there. That's some OG shit. Okay, pops.
I'm stepping into it. The OG.
That's beautiful. I love to see. Yo, Evan, thank you so much for taking the time out, and thank you to the listener for you enjoying this episode, for being with us in this space and time. Please remember to subscribe, rate, and review. We can find us everywhere where podcasts are available. Evan, let the people know where they could find you.
You can find me on your local corner serving up that
that red cotton for the low.
I got the blue cotton. The real boy.
That boy got the red and blue pill. You live and you learn, bro.
Blue magic.
What you know about that blue Mars magic?
Exactly, man. We got that Venus, man. We going the other way. All my socials is the same at Evan Combest, Instagram, YouTube, all of that type of stuff. Hopefully when the world opens back up, you see me on the stage, but we out here.
Hey, we out here. As a matter of fact, we very much so are. We out here. Thank you, Evan, again. Thank you, my audience. Appreciate y'all. Thank you to the Tiny Cupboard for sponsoring the episode and sponsoring the podcast. Evan, has been an absolute pleasure. Hopefully I see you around. In the meantime, in between time, keep growing, keep glowing, keep going.